Have you ever seen someone's entire life turned upside down over just $9? What if I told you that a hard-working single father lost his job because of a tiny mistake worth less than the price of a fast food meal, only for the company's billionaire owner to discover the truth hours later? What happened next shocked everyone in the building and changed dozens of lives forever. Before we begin, welcome to Heartline Stories, where kindness always finds its way back. If stories about hope, justice, and second chances inspire you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were in the billionaire's place? Every morning at exactly 5:30, Daniel Carter unlocked the side entrance of Sterling Innovations in downtown Chicago. While executives slept in luxury apartments, Daniel quietly cleaned the offices, polished the floors, and made sure every conference room looked perfect before sunrise. At 38 years old, Daniel wasn't ashamed of being a janitor. He was proud of honest work. Since losing his wife to cancer 4 years earlier, his entire world revolved around his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Every dollar mattered. Every hour mattered. Every decision mattered. Lily often told her father, "Daddy, one day I'll buy you the biggest house in America." Daniel would smile and kiss her forehead. "You already gave me the biggest treasure," he would answer. One rainy Tuesday, Lily's asthma medicine ran out unexpectedly. Daniel rushed to the nearby pharmacy during his lunch break. The prescription cost more than he expected. He checked his wallet. He was exactly $9 short. Embarrassed, he asked the pharmacist if she could hold the medicine until payday. At that moment, his supervisor, Megan Brooks, walked into the pharmacy. She recognized Daniel immediately. "What are you doing here during work hours?" she asked coldly. "My daughter needs medicine," Daniel explained quietly. "I'll make up the lost time." Megan didn't even look at the prescription. "You've already been gone too long." Daniel apologized and hurried back to work. Desperate to avoid leaving Lily without medicine, he stopped by the employee cafeteria before returning to his shift. On the counter sat a company snack card that someone had forgotten. Thinking it belonged to the shared employee account used during meetings, he used it to buy a bottle of water and a sandwich worth exactly $9. He planned to replace the money after payday. Unfortunately, that card belonged to Megan. The security cameras recorded everything. Within an hour, Megan stormed into the maintenance office. "So this is what you become," she shouted. Daniel stood up immediately. "I'm sorry?" "A thief." The room fell silent. Daniel tried explaining. "I honestly believe the card belonged to the office. I'll repay every cent." But Megan wasn't interested. "We have zero tolerance for theft." She ordered security to escort Daniel out immediately. Daniel begged. "Please, my daughter depends on me." "Not my problem." His employee badge was taken away. His locker was emptied. After 8 years of loyal service, Daniel walked out carrying a cardboard box. All because of $9. That same afternoon, Sterling Innovations prepared for its biggest event of the year. The company's billionaire founder, Richard Sterling, was arriving unexpectedly to finalize a $9 million government technology contract. Executives rushed around the building trying to impress him. Richard rarely visited in person. Nobody knew he preferred walking through every department before attending meetings. As he entered the lobby, something felt different. "Where's Daniel?" Richard asked. The receptionist looked confused. "The janitor?" "Yes. He always greets me." No one answered. Richard noticed fingerprints on the glass doors. Dust gathered in hallway corners. Coffee stains remained on executive tables. Daniel had always kept everything spotless. Richard frowned. "Call facility management." Minutes later, Megan proudly introduced herself. "Everything is under control, Mr. Sterling." Richard looked around. "It doesn't look under control." She nervously smiled. "We had to terminate one employee today." "Who?" "The janitor." "Why?" "He stole company property." Richard folded his arms. What exactly did he steal? Megan answered confidently. $9. The billionaire remained silent for several seconds. Then he asked the question that changed everything. Did anyone ask why? Megan hesitated. He admitted using the card. I asked why. No answer. Richard turned toward human resources. Bring me the security footage. The entire executive floor became silent. Everyone watched as the video played. Richard saw Daniel carefully looking around before using the card. He also watched Daniel immediately apologize. Then another camera showed Daniel leaving the pharmacy with tears in his eyes while holding his daughter's prescription. Richard requested another document. Pull his employment record. 8 years. Not one complaint. Perfect attendance. Outstanding recommendations. Thousands of overtime hours. Richard looked directly at Megan. You fired an employee with a perfect record over $9 without investigating? She swallowed hard. Company policy. No. Richard interrupted. That wasn't company policy. That was your decision. The room became painfully quiet. Richard picked up the contract lying on the conference table. $9 million. Megan smiled nervously, believing the meeting would continue. Instead, Richard slowly closed the folder. I'm canceling this contract. Everyone gasped. One executive nearly dropped his laptop. Megan stared in disbelief. Sir, this contract is my project. I know. It took 18 months. I know. But why? Richard looked directly into her eyes. If you can't recognize the value of one honest employee, I can't trust you with $9 million. Silence. He continued. A leader without compassion costs more than any financial mistake. Then he made another announcement. Megan Brooks, effective immediately, you're terminated. The room froze. Security escorted her out exactly as Daniel had been escorted just hours earlier. Richard wasn't finished. Find Daniel. No matter where he is. 2 hours later, Daniel sat in a small apartment helping Lily with homework. Someone knocked. When he opened the door, 3 black SUVs waited outside. Richard Sterling stepped forward. Daniel thought he was in trouble again. Instead, the billionaire extended his hand. I owe you an apology. Daniel couldn't believe what he was hearing. You deserved respect. I failed to protect you. Richard personally offered Daniel his job back. But Daniel quietly shook his head. I appreciate it. But after today, I don't think I can return. Richard nodded respectfully. I expected that answer. He smiled. So I have another offer. Daniel listened carefully. I need someone honest. Someone who chooses medicine for his daughter over protecting his reputation. Someone who admits mistakes. I don't need another janitor. I need someone to teach integrity. Richard offered Daniel a new position as employee relations advisor, helping improve company culture and ensuring workers were treated fairly. The salary was 4 times higher than his previous job. Full medical insurance. Flexible hours. College savings for Lily. Daniel couldn't hold back his tears. Weeks later, Sterling Innovations looked completely different. Managers received leadership training. Employees gained emergency financial assistance. No worker would ever again lose a job before being heard. The company even created something called the Daniel Carter Compassion Fund, helping employees facing unexpected family emergencies. Meanwhile, Megan struggled to find another executive position. Word spread quickly throughout the business community. Companies wanted talented leaders. Not heartless ones. One afternoon, Lily visited her father's new office. She looked around proudly. Wow. So you're the boss now? Daniel laughed. No. I'm just someone who reminds people to be kind. Richard happened to walk by. He smiled at Lily. Actually, your dad teaches all of us. Years later, Sterling Innovations became one of America's highest-rated workplaces. Business magazines asked Richard what caused the dramatic change. His answer was always the same. The greatest investment I ever made wasn't worth $9 million. It was worth 9. Because sometimes, the smallest amount of money reveals the biggest measure of someone's character. Thank you for watching Heartline Stories. If this story touched your heart, remember this simple lesson: never judge someone by their worst moment without understanding their circumstances. A little kindness can change a life, while a little cruelty can destroy one. If you believe compassion makes stronger leaders, like this video, subscribe to Heartline Stories, share it with someone you care about, and tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were Richard Sterling?